islands of paradise. Come, feel the ebb and flow of the South Pacific Seas. In Samoa, Tonga and Fiji, Tahiti, Aotearoa, New Zealand. But let us begin here, in beautiful Hawaii.
In Mormon mythology, a Lamanite is someone who is blood of Israel, who is descended from the family of Lehi, who allegedly came over to the Western Hemisphere about 600 BC. The family was divided into righteous sons and unrighteous sons. The unrighteous sons included Laman and Lemuel. And they tormented their righteous brother Nephi. But in the mythology, Nephi and his descendants are righteous, and Laman and Lemuel and their descendants are evil.
Quoting from the Book of Mormon introduction, after thousands of years, all were destroyed except the Lamanites, and they are the principal ancestors of the American Indians. The Book of Mormon is an abridgment of the record of the people of Nephi and also of the Lamanites, written to the Lamanites, who are a remnant of the house of Israel. Mormons further speculated that Polynesians were also descendants of Lehi. For the past 175 years, the Mormon Church has taught that Native Americans from Alaska to Argentina were direct descendants of the Book of Mormon Lamanites. This has been done in both official and unofficial contexts. Since the early 1850s, Mormons speculated that Polynesians were also descendants of Lehi. This belief in an ancestral link of Native American peoples and Polynesians to Israel persists among the vast majority of Mormons to this day. While some Mormon leaders and scholars have taught otherwise, their positions have not gained wide acceptance. In order to better understand what a Lamanite is, we travel to Hawaii. Here, we seek the indigenous perspective on the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. At the University of Hawaii, at the Center of Hawaiian Studies, Dr. Haunani-Kay Trask is a Native Hawaiian academic, activist, militant, documentarist, and writer.
Well, we're like most Native people. We're besieged by ill health and diaspora and homelessness. Into that already very poor way of living come these people, missionaries, and it doesn't matter where they're from. They have the same idea, which is that we need them. We need them to convert us to, if not Christianity, some other form of proselytizing religion. And of course, it never dawns on them that we have our own religion, that it's much older than theirs, that it's native to this place and to our people. And we have to deal with a constant proselytizing about what is better than what we are. And in many ways, it reminds me of the original missionaries who came to Hawaii, who thought that salvation meant salvation of the soul and not of the body. And Hawaiians then inherited from those missionaries diseases, which of course collapsed our population and injured the next generation. So now we have the worst health in the archipelago, we have the highest imprisonment, and I don't see that anything regarding Christianity has helped that at all. In fact, the missionaries became, shortly after the church said goodbye to them, they became land speculators. They created what we call a mahele, which means the land division, and they established private property. And this was right in the middle of the 19th century, after the impact of first contact, when Hawaiians were dying by the tens of thousands. Then they say, let's have private property, which of course meant that they themselves benefited from that. And when I think now of missionaries, we call them in Hawaii the missionary gang, because their descendants are still very famous now. They still own most of the businesses and property in Hawaii, and they are descended from the original Protestant missionaries. The Church of Latter-day Saints, I believe it's called, the Mormons, are particularly well placed in Hawaii and in Polynesia in general. And they send out their people to proselytize. They knock on your door and they tell you why you need to hear what they have to say. And actually, to me, they are the worst, because I haven't had any Catholics knocking on my door. I haven't had any Protestants knocking on my door. No Buddhists knock on my door. Hawaii has a very large Asian population, and they are not Christian at all. They never knock on my door. It's always the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
At Brigham Young University in Hawaii, Bill Wallace is the Director of Hawaiian Studies. He is also a native Hawaiian with a different perspective about what a Lamanite is and where the church fits into the identity of a native Hawaiian and Polynesia in general.
Well, and that's not too bad for a campus of about 2,200 students, yeah.
Right.
And so we have about 35 in Hawaiian studies and about 25 in Pacific Island studies, And so that's a pretty good core group that we have, The canoe, Yosepa, is part of our Lamanite Identity. We're teaching our students how to care for the ocean and sailing, and how that was such an important part of our ancestral life. And so this side, the right side of the canoe, is the kane, or the male. And the left side over here is the wahine, or the female. Yeah? And these wooden beams that go through the two hulls symbolizes the union of male and female of marriage. Yeah? And this is what we call yako. And for us, the right hull, the kane, or the male side, is called Ani-Ani-Ku. That's the name. And the left, the female, the woman side, the wahine, is Kekai Pahola. And the deck above this, which is where the whole canoe joins together, is called Neve Neve Maulia Ikaiki Ku, which is their son, the youngest of their sons. In our translation, Ani-Ani Ku is Father Lehi from the Book of Mormon. Okay, his wife Kekai Pahola is Mother Soraya, and Neve Neve Maulia Ikaiki Ku is the name of their youngest son, born in the wilderness of their afflictions, whose name was Joseph. Okay, and that's where we got Yosepa. Yosepa is a Hawaiian way of saying Joseph.